They claim they want beef like I ain't in a teed up. I turn them to vegan. I'm really a creature. She sent me the beacon.
Hey guys, Ash here, Rachel Legends. Welcome to the video. Today I'm not alone. I'm thrilled to be joined by Chosen. Chosen, what's up, man? It's been a hot minute since I've had you on this channel. How you doing?
Hey, it's good to be here. Good old times. Chosen and Ash collabing.
Yeah, dude.
Fun.
By the time that right now it's not live on my channel, but by the time this video is live, that video will go live. But I had a video talking about kind of my raid journey a little bit, and I actually went back. I've told this anecdote 10 times. You're probably sick of hearing it, but my first like 5 collabs were part of a sponsorship before I even created this channel. And you, Plarium, like recommended, like, why don't you work with an organic creator who actually knows what they're talking about? This is back in 2019, and you did like a 5-part series with me, and I actually played my first Lego pull, like both you and I reacting to it in that video. So I don't know, Osama, show that right now.
Let me see if I can remember. Let me see if I can remember.
Yeah.
Was it Biggin? Hey, there you go.
Big
Oh my
on.
God.
Is he good? Is he
that's
bad?
one of the best. That's one of the best things you could have pulled. There you go. You're set.
Biggin.
Yep, Biggin.
Dude, you have, dude. Yes, 100%. It was Biggin, and like I'm like in the clip, I'm like, big on. It's Chosen. Big on. Is he good? Big
Oh my
on.
God.
Is he good? Is he like? And you're like, yeah, dude, he's pretty good, especially back in the day, you know.
He was great
Dude,
back in the day. Yeah.
If you can remember my first epic, because I pulled him in the same 10 pull, I will give you, you know, my account.
It was I remember Skull Crusher.
Dude, you are a savant, my friend.
I remember that meeting, and I have a photographic memory.
Don't remember.
It was Skull Crusher,
the
bro.
other
It was
one.
Skull Crusher. It was Skull Crusher.
Oh, I thought you meant like multiple epics, but I remembered Skull Crusher.
Yeah, Skull Crusher and Biggin, man. That's insane that you remember that.
They're more expensive to ascend, and you actually got a really good one here. Skull Crusher.
Yes. But anyway, yeah, it all started for me way back in the day with Chosen. So I thought, you know, you've moved on from raid, or at least daily uploads and stuff like that. I thought that with all this hype in the game, and I'll catch you up if you're not up to date on everything, but man, like, we were going through a bit of a lull, I would say, in raid, as we tend to do in the summers, and I was wondering if this would entice somebody like you, who, my understanding, you had a big, long interview, which really inspired me for me to reach out with you with Big Papa Drock, right? And I want to say in that chat, it's been a few weeks since I've watched the video, but didn't you say that you maybe log in very occasionally, but you're not like actively playing raid right now? Is that correct, or have things changed?
I only log in to like check something that I'm curious about from like an industry, you know, workplace
Got you.
context. I haven't logged in to like play for fun since I did the video quitting.
Okay. So I'm wondering if this will entice you to come back. But first, before we get to all the new stuff and talk about Ninja Turtles and a lot more in terms of like quality of life. By the way, I'm recording this right when the update went live. So if you guys are curious, everything's brand new to me here. What's life like, man? We know, I'm sure most people know that you're working at Fateless, specifically on Godforge. You're the host of the podcast there on the Fateless YouTube channel. I'll link all that stuff in the show notes below. But how has life been for you, like both in the industry and out, since you've quit?
Yeah, it's been crazy. You know, we're finally getting alphas out and letting players get their hands on Godforge, and that's kind of been my main focus ever since I quit playing raid. Was you know, I kind of joined Fateless at the early days, and it's exciting to see it finally kind of come to life and at least be something tangible that other people can see and we can talk about. So that's kind of the main thing. You know, otherwise just same old. You know, I got a golf tournament this weekend, so.
Hell yeah, man. Good luck. Good luck in the tournament. Is it fair to characterize you leaving raid more to do with, you know, other circumstances, your career and whatnot, and less to do with like the state of raid or how you felt about raid? Or was it a blend, or you know, how did those two things kind of reconcile with you?
Yeah, it was kind of a culmination of multiple factors. I don't think it was that I hated raid or anything.
Yeah.
That was like, you know, less than 1% of it. The main driving factors was that I had kind of done everything I wanted to do. I had done over 5,000 videos and live streams. So, you know, I was getting to the point where I was doing each tier list for like the 10th time. And
hey,
and,
easy,
you know,
Chosen. Don't let my viewers sensitive on my content here. I totally hear you, though. I totally hear you. You felt like you said a lot of what you had to say, I imagine.
Yeah, and it also, you know, like when I got into doing raid content, I was filling like a massive gap. Like there was no one doing content.
Yeah.
And now I feel like the content scene for raid is very robust. It's very healthy. There's tons of amazing creators. So I was, kind of less necessary. Like, I didn't think my niche was kind of like covering the daily news and grading the pack offers. And, 5 years into it, there was hundreds of people doing that. So I just felt like between all the different factors and me already doing everything, and then the fact that what I am doing was already covered by hundreds of people now, it's like, it's kind of time to look for a new opportunity maybe. And then it ended up, just kind of working out because Fateless ended up kind of just growing into a thing at that point. So just everything kind of came together and made sense.
I totally understand 100%. That's kind of how I felt about Clash Royale when I moved to Raid, honestly. Like, I had made thousands of videos through years and years, and I'm like, I don't know what to, like, I can only cover so many decks or so many whatever, I don't feel that way in Raid, thankfully, yet, at least. So hopefully it doesn't come, but I'm curious. Have you ruled out ever returning to Raid? Like, do you think it's something, I'm going to try to entice you a little bit, right? But before that, is it something that, like, you think you're done with the game? And I want you to answer that in two ways. One, in terms of content, and other in terms of just playing the game itself, like as a daily player.
I mean, you can never say never, but like it would have to be a pretty crazy shift for me to like come back, because the hard part with me is, and I'm not bragging, by the way, I think this is a character flaw, I can't do anything casually. So if I were to come back to Raid, it would be, okay, I got to run a clan. I got to have a Discord with thousands of people. I'm going to play 8 hours a day. I'm going to do content. I would just go all in if I were to do it. And that's just not something I could pull off right now. So, maybe if I moved on from Fateless or that didn't work out or something, then maybe. But I'm loving Fateless right now, and that's kind of my full focus. So I really doubt that I would kind of come back to Raid.
Okay. All right. So I'll just say this, man, not to pander to you, but I think that I personally, and this, 'cause I've told you this privately, like back in the day when you were kind of thinking about taking a step back, but like, I always thought that you added something very valuable, even at the end of like, when you probably didn't think you were. I thought your content really stood out. Like, I thought that in part of it's your personality and whatnot, and the way you approach topics and whatnot. But I liked that you covered news, but you covered it like with your opinion as well, but like always, I felt like it was opinionated news content. However, you try to take a balanced approach with your opinion. Like, you're the type of guy who likes to look at every side of like a given conversation or a topic, and that's what I think is kind of missing right now, in the Raid scene. So, and man, the freaking pack offers, dude, maybe there's 100 channels doing that. I don't know about any of them, so like that would be welcome too. Like, hey, is this a good deal or not?
Yeah, hey, I appreciate that. It's very nice of you to say. I really enjoyed it still. So it's not like I woke up in the morning and I got to do a Raid video. I hated it. Like, I did still enjoy it. And I still had a lot of friends in the community and a really robust Discord server and all that. It just kind of, culminated, but you can never say never. So
okay. All right,
it is possible that I end up poking around and doing some videos for fun. But I actually did recently with, but not with Raid.
With what, Dragonair or whatever? Or
no, because like I was talking about with my personality, I tried playing something for fun. I was like, oh, this game V Rising looks pretty cool. Okay. I'm just gonna kind of play it with my friends and do like one of the resets. And then here, fast forward 2 weeks, I'm uploading videos. I'm reaching out to other creators to do. And I'm building a Discord server, and I'm like, "Yep, here we go again." Like,
you're all in again. You caught yourself. So what did you just fall into that same trap where you're just like, okay, I don't have time to do this the way that I want to do it, is that kind of what happened again?
Well, yeah, and like, so my first V Rising video that I uploaded got like 25,000 views, and I was like, well, maybe I should do this for a little bit, and then before you know it, I'm down the rabbit hole and being a creator again. But yeah, it just came down to the fact, like, we're heading into alpha with Godforge, and I've got tons of stuff I need to be doing. I've got to like back off a little bit. I don't want to stretch myself too thin.
Well, let's final question before we jump into all the Raid stuff is, what can we expect from you, or have you not decided yet in terms of your own coverage as a creator of Godforge? Like, are you planning on bringing that to the Chosen channel, starting a new channel, or are you up in the air just given all your, your day-to-day responsibilities as an employee there? Are you still up in the air whether you're going to, create daily content for it or whatever, content at all?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm still kind of mulling around and thinking about it. Fateless is super cool. They've always been supportive and been like, hey, when we hired you, we understand that you're a creator, so do whatever you want. Like, you know, we're not going to tell you what you can and can't do. You know, obviously don't leak stuff, but but if you want to do videos, go ahead.
Not like Simon.
Yeah. So like, I struggle with this, and I think I talked about it a little bit with Drock, so I don't want to be too repetitive, but it's a little bit of a conflict of interest. Like, would people want to watch like a Diablo 4 creator doing Diablo 4 tier lists and stuff? Like, or I mean, a Diablo 4 designer. It's like, I'd love to do it, but it's like a conflict, because it's like, I help design the kits, and then am I supposed to like say, oh, this hero's trash? Like,
that could be tricky for sure. And like, but I heard you talking about that on the Drock, and I almost left a comment about that specifically because, like, I think it's not like you're hiding it, first of all, right? It's like everybody knows that you're on the team, but I think, like, let's put it in Raid terms. If there was a developer or a designer from Raid who made Raid content, dude, like, I would watch that video. I would watch that channel every day. Sure, there might be some times where I rolled my eyes and be like, oh yeah, you know, like, Vagabond's the best rare because you designed her or whatever, you know, but like, there's also something that's so unique about that offering, right? Like, you could be a liaison to the community in some ways, not in official ways, but like, you would certainly have the pulse of the community. I think that would benefit the developer quite a bit, because, you know, from as being a creator, Chosen, is that like, I feel like we creators, not just creators, but like also like people active in the Reddits, people active, like the community members who are most hardcore about these games or most passionate about it, even like, you know, clan leaders. I feel like their perspective from just like talking to the community every day, it's hard to get as a developer. It's not impossible, but I think it's a really cool kind of vehicle to connect with the player base. So like, I'm just one guy, just one vote, but I think it'd be super cool. I'm sure that like Simon's going to cover it, right? Hades? You think that, I just assumed he was. I haven't asked him, but.
yeah, I don't.
Answer for
I'm
him,
sure,
Brad.
I'm sure he'll upload. And that's also another thing is like, I wouldn't want to step on Simon's toes. You know, he's kind of like the front-facing community interaction voice for Fateless and Godforge. So would it be redundant if I was also, you know, trying to do that? But I'm sure there's some way I could pull it off. Like, you know, from a designer's perspective, and talk about my journey, you know, working with Godforge, and maybe like how the community feels versus how I feel as a designer and someone that works on stuff. I agree with you. There's probably an avenue to make it work, and it's definitely something I'm still kind of thinking about, but you make good points.
Cool, man. Cool. Yeah, it'd be cool to see. Like, there's a lot of creators obviously involved, you know, in the project. There's Saf and there's Susie and Hades. So like, it'd be cool to see you guys, all of you guys kind of join together and do something on the content side. But either way, man, things look awesome so far in Fateless. So great job over there. And I love what you do with the podcast, man, like hosting those. And you do a really good job. You're a great interviewer, way better than I am in terms of like giving everybody space and being like genuinely inquisitive and curious, which I think is the most important quality to have. With all that said, let's move on to some Ninja Turtles, bro. No problem, man. Like, Ninja Turtles, did you grow up? You look like you were a Turtles fan growing up. Is that fair to say or no? I don't know what. You look a little turtly, bro.
I mean, I'm a millennial, you know. So
exactly, exactly.
So of course, you know, I grew up, and I remember as a kid, you know, having like the action figures and you know, my parents buying me all the Ninja Turtles stuff to have in my room, you know, the posters, and I definitely watched all the movies and the cartoons when I was a kid. So yeah, definitely, I think it's super interesting to me, at least as a millennial, to see the Ninja Turtles in Raid, and I was definitely a big fan growing up.
Yeah, man, I didn't know how this IP was gonna go, because I mean, it's Ninja Turtles. It feels a little like, I love the IP. I think they killed it personally. I'm watching the trailer in the background. I sent you the link if you want to tune in as well, but you may have already seen it. But like, I was a little, like, when I found out about it, I was a little worried because I hadn't seen the visuals yet, but I think they nailed it personally. And it's really cool. And the nostalgia is real. I might be a little older than you, but like, I think similarly, we grew up like I grew up watching like the 80s or 90s, early 90s cartoon. And it was like, Turtles back in the day it was huge, just as huge, if not bigger than it was today, you know? And like, you hit the nail on the head with the action figures. And like, were you ever into any of the video games?
Yeah. I probably played all of them.
Yeah, dude, you know, like the old school NES, like the very first one, I thought it was like so hard, I remember. And then like all the arcade versions and stuff, they were all a blast, you know?
Yeah, you know, I remember, it's funny, I still give my uncle crap, because I remember being like like 6 years old or 7 or whatever, and my uncle was like a senior in high school, and he came over with his buddies one night. He's like, "Hey, can we borrow your Ninja Turtles game?" Like, so yeah, I was definitely
Nice.
super into it. I owned all the games.
Yeah, man, it was cool. It was who's your favorite character? Like, you know, it could be a turtle, it could be anybody. Who's your favorite character?
I think I usually tended to lean towards Leonardo, but that's probably
Yeah,
a pretty
man.
common one.
Yeah. I'm with you on Leo, bro. I'm with you on Leo. I grew up in like such a strict, I don't know why I'm tying this in, but I grew up in like a really strict household, and I always wanted to be like, I always looked for like the I don't know how to say it, but like the most well-behaved of the groups, right? To try to like as a role model or something. I don't know. So I loved Leo, and then like in the video games, I always thought Donatello was kind of OP with his his weapon being having the extra range. So
the most range.
yeah, exactly. So those are the two that I gravitated towards. I also like the villains, like the Rocksteady and Bebops and Krang and stuff like that. I think they have like a good cast of characters in the at least in some of the originals. So I'm not sure if you've seen them in game, but
I barely. I
Okay.
saw like Saf showed me like a screenshot. I haven't seen him. Oh yeah. Okay.
There's Mikey. There's
Yeah.
Mikey. It's the weirdest thing about it, bro, is like I think they all look amazing, fantastic, awesome, right? They did great with the visuals and stuff, as you can see. But dude, they're like scattered around random factions. Like Michelangelo's a Bannerlord.
That. Like, that seems super weird.
It is weird, man. Michelangelo's a Bannerlord. We've got look at this Raph's a barbarian, bro. Like what? That's Raph.
The Sai looks a little bit strange. Oh, he's carrying it. Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. Right there, you can see his little.
I see. Okay.
You got to log in at least to claim Michelangelo. He's the freebie, and dude, his kit is like I won't go through it in depth here, but his kit is pretty busted, man. His kit is pretty busted for a free champion. You know how they can be like super hit or miss. What's the last freebie that you played that they gave out like when you were actively playing? Like Loki or something, maybe? Rhonda?
I was playing for a while still after Ronda, but I don't even
Okay.
remember, to be honest with you.
Got you. Well, Michelangelo, pretty good. He's got taunt. You might not even. Do you even know what taunt does, bro? I don't even know. I forgot how long it's been.
Taunt did come out after I
Okay.
quit.
Oh, really, dude? You've been gone a while, man.
Yeah. Ever since
Okay.
basically Fateless started. Yep.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough. Well, he has a stun, a decreased defense, then he can debuff spread all debuffs onto all enemies. So like pretty
that's pretty
busted.
crazy.
Pretty bust on a 3-turn cooldown. Like they didn't have champions like this back in our day, let alone for free.
And back in 2019, no.
No. Like I think even for AoE stuns back in our day, like there was nothing, like Astralon had a 4-turn and a few others. But anyway, so I showed you Raph. I'll show you. Oh, I got to show you April O'Neil. My only bummer is they didn't do anything with Master Splinter. I would have loved to see Master Splinter in here as a Skinwalker, What do you think about April? I can see the look on your face says it all, I think.
Doesn't look like how I would have expected.
Doesn't she look like a Fortnite character?
Yeah, I would have went more like, news lady reporter type vibes.
Yeah, either way, she's really good. Her character is really busted. I don't hate the visual, but it's not like I don't see it. And if you asked me to guess who this is, if I didn't knew nothing about the collab, I would not have guessed April O'Neil. But then again,
no way.
Then again, maybe I'm not like the most hardcore, up-to-date fan. Maybe that's how she looks nowadays.
Hello? Turtle? Fellas, hey, is that...
Donnie, he's the fusion. Donatello. You can see pretty cool with the staff and stuff, like what they did in terms of the animations, right? And then
for sure.
he's pretty cool too. And then of course Leo is a Void legendary. Looks pretty how you figure, I guess. And then Shredder. They got Shredder. He's pretty cool. Void Shadowkin champion. He looks cool, right? Like I think they did a good job. What do you think overall?
Yeah, I think Shredder's. I think all of them are pretty good, except for like April O'Neil is a little bit different than what I would have expected. But the other ones, I would have guessed this is Shredder, like even if you didn't tell me.
Yeah, same. And he's the dungeon boss too, the event dungeon boss. The bummer is the gear kind of sucks. That's the only bummer. But anyway, I want to.
They have Splinter? Did they put Splinter in?
No. That was the bummer.
Okay.
No Master Splinter. To me, it would have been like so cool because he's like such a natural skinwalker to have,
Yeah, for sure.
But It is what it is. They did add quite a few, the 6 new characters, whatever. What do you... Okay, I'm going to give one more thing. I'm not sure if you've heard this already, so I don't know. Feel free to fake and pretend you haven't heard it if you have. But they did a permanent free gear removal to the game starting like this week, right? So it's like it's a whole new raid, bro. I'm the hard sell here, the elevator pitch, right? Tons of quality of life, over 1,000 champions, and the Ninja Turtles, and free gear removal. Now, it strikes me that, yeah, these are all fantastic, and I want to get your thoughts on it, of course, but you quit mainly due to, like, time considerations. So I'm not sure if this alleviates any of those for you, but I wanted to ask, with total 100% permanent free gear removal as well, and swapping and whatnot, are you enticed at all, Chosen Brad, to return to the game?
That doesn't move the needle for me, but I know it's a huge deal, and I know anybody that's kind of like, especially progressing and still having to build all their faction wars teams and stuff, that's going to be huge. So I'm glad they finally did that after years of us fighting for it. That's definitely good news. I did hear about it like maybe yesterday. I kind of caught wind of it. If I was still a creator for Raid and I saw that news for like my daily video, my first gut reaction would be like, okay, I'm skeptical about what they're going to introduce as a new Silver Sync now.
Right? It is almost, it's an interesting, like, it's a great problem to have, but I'm like, what am I going to do with, like, theoretically, I'll have, like you said, millions and millions and more silver, especially given my habits of how often I switch gear. So it's like, what does this mean for my account? Like, should I behave differently when it comes to upgrading gear because of this? But you know how it is, bro. You know how it is in life, right? Like, you go from one job and then you get a massive raise at a brand new job. And like, what happens inevitably after 6 months or a year or whatever, right? Like, you just adjust and live to your new means, right? And I figure that's probably what we'll end up doing. In a month, I'll still be complaining about being broke in silver and raid, I feel like.
I remember talking to people about that like, made a lot more money than me, back when I was like in college or whatever. And they're like, you probably have more money in your checking account than I do. It doesn't matter. Like, the more money you make, the more it goes out the door.
Right? It's definitely a little more money, more problems. But hey, man, so I would love to see you. I mean, I totally understand why this would not entice you. Is there anything that Raid could do at this point? Because there's major updates coming. There's a new Roman faction coming as the final faction as well, kind of a Greco-Roman theme to it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. It actually looks a little Godforgey, I'm not gonna lie, in terms of like the aesthetic to it, So is there anything that would entice you to, again, forget content for a moment because that's a big undertaking, but just to go back as a daily player, do you think there's something that would really get your attention? If Ninja Turtles can't do it, what would bring Brad back?
What would bring me back at this point, the only thing that would bring me back is Raid Shadow Legends 2. Like a full reset, restart, new game.
Got you. Because is there a little bit of you that feels like you, and I imagine most players might feel this, like people who have taken a long break. Is it a bit daunting to consider everything that you've missed along the way that you'd have to catch up on, and like all the relics and all this stuff that you probably don't even know a lot about? Is that part of it too? That like it's a bit daunting to play catch up?
I mean, maybe a little bit, because it's a little bit rough after having a pretty stacked account and then taking multiple years off. Now you're gonna feel like you're kind of back to square one, and it's gonna be a little bit of a feels bad. But I think I'd be okay, within a couple months catching up. But yeah, the only thing that would do it for me is if they announced like Raid Shadow Legends 2, that would, make me sit up in my chair and be like, oh, like, okay.
Got you.
That would do it for me.
Don't give them any ideas, Chosen.
Well, I'm actually surprised they haven't, but this might be a fun topic for another video. I'm kind of surprised we don't see that more in the industry. Like, they never do like a Clash of Clans 2. They just do the Clash of Clans for 20 years. They never do Clash Royale 2. They just do Clash Royale for 15 years.
Yeah, I think you're right, because think about it, like right now the trend is you like build on top of the foundation that you have, and you keep players active, you keep players spending, you keep players, retention. But you're right, what happens is like you also have this gap between new players and existing players when you keep doing that. But if you reset, what you could do is incentivize active players to whatever, based on your account, you get a certain level of perks. Because I think that's the biggest hang up, is kind of having that reset moment of like, wait, I've invested thousands of hours and dollars potentially into Raid. Why would I switch games by the same developer at this point? But on the other side too, you know, even I think there'd be a large concern about like maybe cannibalism between the two games from the developer side, wouldn't you think? I mean, you're a developer now, so I can ask you.
Yeah, well, and maybe it's like an archaic form of thinking, because like with you and me growing up, it was always like, oh, okay, there's Diablo 1, and then there's Diablo 2, and then there's Diablo 3. But it might be a little bit different in the modern era where you just kind of keep building on that same foundation and improving it, because like League of Legends did the same thing, and Fortnite, they all just kind of roll with their same, but there is still some that do. Yeah, there's still like, you know, Madden and all these games, they release a new one like every year. So I think both models can work for sure.
It'd be very interesting to see. I know that like, I don't think I'm at liberty to share anything. Not that I know a ton, but I know that like there's a few, like some of the makers of Raid have been working on projects, you know, from what I hear. So who knows? It might not be a Raid 2, but maybe some Raid inspired games, some more Raid inspired games might be coming out in the future. So who knows? We'll see. Either way, dude, like, thank you so much for coming on, man. Any final thoughts? It was great to catch up. I'm sure my viewers are absolutely going to love hearing from you. Any final thoughts or anything that you wanted to share before we let you go here?
No, man, it's I guess I would want to ask, did you like get time to play the Godforge Alpha at all?
Yeah, not much, but I have it downloaded and I'm locked and loaded. So I've actually really been enjoying watching the creators. Like, I'm sure you're the same way in Raid, right? At this point where like I don't have the time that I want to grind alpha. So I've been watching like Mad Capper and Odd One and stuff, and those guys, just like all their content and their opinions. So I feel like I've played the game a lot. I really haven't at all. But I think I'm most interested, especially after like I certainly haven't like been a part of the actual active development of the game, but I've been part of so many conversations about the development of the game that I'm really curious, and I can't imagine it for you, on like what it's like to, or I'm not curious. I'm curious to see the feedback, but I love hearing the feedback from actually people who are getting their hands on it for the first time. You seeing as how like you actually had a hand in designing a lot of these things in the game. I can't imagine what it's like for you, man. Is it surreal almost to have like, it's almost like people talking about your little babies in a kind of in a weird way, you know?
Yeah, it's you know, because like a year and a half ago, I'll be conceptualizing a kit for a hero, and then now I'm watching content creators a year and a half later like do
They're trash. They're amazing.
We'll do videos like reviewing certain heroes and like, oh, he's super good here, and you know, maybe that was my design intent from the get-go. So it's fun to see that kind of come to life full circle, because like when I started designing kits for the heroes, that was one of the first steps. So a lot of times you don't even see what they look like in Godforge yet. So to see them come to life art-wise and animation-wise, and then be actually in the game, and then content creators reviewing them and talking about their strengths and weaknesses, it's been a pretty wild ride for sure. It's my first time experiencing that. That
is so cool. Do you think you would take it like personal if someone made a video like not knowing that you designed them, but like bashing one of your characters, like crappy design or something like that, you know? Like, would you take it personal?
No.
Okay.
No, not
I think
at all.
I might, man. I'd be like, dude, what do you mean? Like, that's a great champion or whatever, you know?
No, because in these games, when you have hundreds of heroes, there's always going to be some that are like meta, or some that need a little bit of buffing or a little bit of tuning. And that would be good feedback, because if people think a certain hero is trash or completely worthless, then that we should probably know that and try to kind of learn and adjust them. So no, I wouldn't take it personal at all.
Okay, that's cool, man. Do you have, like, I know most players haven't got their hand, or most prospective players haven't got their hands on the game yet, but when they do, is there one champion that you like personally feel like most proud of? Obviously I know it's like a group effort on everything, but is there one of your personal favorites that you had a hand in that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I had a big hand in designing like or like kind of theory crafting the kit around Beowulf, and you know, kind of leaning into his lore of being a champion of like slaying huge monsters that everyone else is scared to fight and stuff like that. So I really leaned into that and tried to make him a really good boss killer. And then he ended up being so good at that in the alpha that we probably have to tune him a little bit. So
nice, man.
So that did end up coming to life a
I remember
little
reading
bit. But
Beowulf in junior high school, and while I wanted to be playing Ninja Turtles, but I would love to revisit, man, and especially knowing that you had a hand in the design there. So yeah, dude, it's been a blast. Keep up the great work, and we'll continue. We'll have you back on maybe during a beta on Godforge, talk a little bit more about that and your work there, and it can't wait till everybody can get their hands on the game. So I'll have everything that Chosen is a part of on the Fateless side, as well as his channel, because you never know. Linked in the show notes below. Chosen, thanks again, man. Thank you guys for watching till the end of the video. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.